GTA 6 does not only create hype for crime stories, it creates hype for big third-person sandboxes where you drive, explore, fight, mess around, and let the map surprise you. These are recent open-world games that scratch pieces of that same waiting room itch. Opening at number 10, Mafia. The Old Country is the least sandbox-heavy game here, but it still belongs on the edge of a GTA waiting list. The appeal is third-person crime drama with cars, weapons, dusty streets, interiors, chases, and missions built around the feeling of being pulled into a dangerous world. It is lower because the structure is more directed. You are not getting the same map freedom, side activity sprawl, or make-your-own chaos energy that people expect from GTA. What it does offer is the serious version of the fantasy, period vehicles, grounded shootouts, and a criminal atmosphere that feels focused instead of noisy. From the footage, the camera, combat, and mission pacing are doing the heavy lifting. If you mainly want goofy sandbox trouble, start higher. If you want GTA's crime story side in a newer package, this is a fair opening pick. Number 9 is Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. And this is where the list proves it is not just about crime. It is third-person, open, strange, vehicle-friendly, and built around reading the map instead of sprinting from marker to marker. The GTA overlap is not shootouts or heists. It is the pleasure of existing inside a huge world with tools, routes, vehicles, bad terrain, weird encounters, and missions that can turn simple travel into a story. The caveat is obvious. The pacing is slower, lonelier, and much more deliberate. If your favorite GTA moments are instant police chaos, this will feel like the opposite temperature. But it deserves the slot because open-world sandboxes are also about movement. Death Stranding 2 makes movement itself the problem, the reward, and sometimes the joke. Sitting at number 8, Rise of the Ronin hits the third-person open-world checklist from a very different direction. You get a historical city map, horseback travel, gliding, grappling, faction choices, side missions, street fights, and a combat system that asks more from you than the average sandbox brawl. It is not GTA-like in tone, and there are no modern cars or radio stations to sell that urban fantasy. That is why it stays in the lower half. The connection is structure. A big map full of errands, enemies, traversal options, and trouble you can ride into before you are ready. The camera keeps the action readable, and the combat gives every small encounter a little more bite. If Mafia is the crime story pick, Rise of the Ronin is the open-world mission pick with sharper swords and less nonsense. Number 7 is Star Wars Outlaws, which may be the cleanest example of GTA-adjacent design without trying to be GTA. It is third-person, mission-driven, open-world, and built around being a scoundrel moving between jobs, factions, stealth routes, blaster fights, speeder travel, and little bits of trouble. The reason it is not higher is that the sandbox is more controlled. You are not turning the whole map into a toy box, and the wanted chaos is filtered through a Star Wars adventure structure. Still, the overlap is easy to see from the footage. Vehicles, enemy bases, reputation pressure, cities, open routes, and a protagonist fantasy about living outside the rules. It also feels current enough for viewers who do not want a 10-year-old recommendation. If someone wants GTA's outlaw energy without the exact crime setting, this is a natural fit. In the number 6 spot, Dragon's Dogma 2 is here, because GTA fans often love systems that create unplanned stories. This is not an urban sandbox. It is a third-person fantasy world where the map, enemies, pawns, monsters, travel friction, and combat all keep interrupting your plans. The magic is that a simple walk can become an ambush, a boss fight, a rescue, a bad climb, or a cart ride that goes completely wrong. That is a different kind of chaos, but it scratches the same desire to poke the world and see what happens. The caveat is that the pacing can be rough, and the quest structure is much less clean than a modern Rockstar mission. I have it at 6 because the sandbox is powerful, but the vibe is less immediately searchable as a GTA substitute than the urban and cinematic picks above it. Halfway up at number 5, Dune Awakening earns its place by going hard on the sandbox part of the brief. It is third-person survival in a huge hostile world, with vehicles, bases, resources, faction pressure, dangerous travel, and enough player-driven structure to make the map feel like more than a pretty backdrop. It is not GTA-like in story, comedy, or city life. The connection is freedom and escalation. You leave the safe area, chase resources, upgrade gear, cross the desert, run into other players, and suddenly the mission you invented for yourself matters more than the official objective. The caveat is that survival systems can feel like homework if you only want fast action. But for viewers waiting on GTA because they want a big world that can create stories, Dune Awakening is one of the freshest options on the list. Taking number 4. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the safe, big-budget, open-world pick, and that is not an insult. It is third-person, polished, packed with missions, stealth routes, combat, traversal, bases, world activities, and enough map density to keep a GTA-hungry viewer busy for a long time. The obvious difference is tone. This is historical action, not modern sandbox mayhem, and the chaos is more designed than accidental. But the moment-to-moment shape is close in the ways that matter for this revised list. You move across the world, pick a target, choose a messy or quiet approach, and let side activities pull you off track. The dual protagonist setup also gives the footage a useful contrast between direct combat and stealth. It ranks this high because it is recent, searchable, and extremely clear as a third-person open-world recommendation. In third place, Ghost of Yotei is the premium third-person open-world pick for players who want the map to feel cinematic without becoming stiff. It does not have GTA's cars, cops, or urban stupidity. What it does have is the same broad promise of stepping into a large world and letting the next mission, fight, road, or distraction pull you forward. What stands out from the footage is the readable camera, strong movement, dramatic combat, open landscapes, and side objective pacing that looks clean without feeling empty. The caveat is that it is more elegant than chaotic. If your GTA itch is mostly crashing vehicles into traffic, this is not the answer. But if your itch is a huge third-person world with a strong protagonist fantasy and constant things to chase, Ghost of Yotei belongs near the top. Number 2 is Crimson Desert. And this is the game that most obviously sells itself on open-world possibility. The footage is packed with third-person combat, climbing, gliding, horses, big enemies, villages, physics-heavy moments, strange side activities, and a map that looks built to overwhelm you with things to touch. It is not GTA in theme at all, which is exactly the correction this list needed. The overlap is sandbox ambition, movement systems, mission variety, combat spectacle, and the feeling that the world might let you do something ridiculous if you test it. The caveat is that games this ambitious can wobble. The final pacing, UI clarity, and mission structure have to hold together. Still, for someone waiting on GTA 6 because they want a modern open-world playground, Crimson Desert is one of the strongest current recommendations.
And analyzed in real time by security algorithms.
And at number 1, Mind's Eye is the most direct modern GTA-like on this broader version of the list. It is third-person, cinematic, vehicle-heavy, action-focused, and openly built around the kind of near-future city spectacle that makes people think about Rockstar-style worlds. The recommendation comes with a warning, because the conversation around the game has been messy and the polish question is real. But the search intent is also real. If someone types games like GTA 6, this is exactly the kind of current game they expect to see discussed. From the footage, the useful pieces are all there. Cars, roads, weapons, combat arenas, mission markers, city lighting, and a protagonist moving through a big action world. It beats the cleaner fantasy picks because the shape is closer to GTA, even if the execution may be more uneven. That is the list. GTA 6 has a rare mix of sandbox freedom, movement, missions, and chaos. But these games hit pieces of that feeling now. Like the video, comment with your pick, and subscribe because it helps the channel build better recommendation lists.